Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss. I have a sleepy little Rose back here, and today we're going to talk about a product that was sent to me for a review. And the funny thing about this is that I was looking at this product and contemplating purchasing it when their team at the Zollie company reached out to us and asked if I would like to review it, if I would like a free sample. And I thought, okay, I was on the fence whether to purchase it or not, so this kind of pushed me over the edge, and I thought I'd go ahead and bring it into this art studio so that I could see if this is a tool that all of us need to purchase and have in our stock. So this is the Palette Scout. You may have seen some ads for it on the different social media platforms. It's by the company Zollie, I think is how you say it. And so far I'm intrigued. This is a product that is supposed to help us pick colors. So discover the world of color with a playful, open-ended experience for artists and makers of all ages. Learn about color in a fun, intuitive way and combine 180 colors into unique palettes. And it's set up in a deck, kind of like what you would get in a board game. And I'm very curious about it. It says it's for 8 and over, includes 108 cards and a 14-page instruction booklet. Now, I've watched a few of their different YouTube videos to learn what I'm about to open up and find, but we're going to do this together, a real unboxing and first impressions video. That's the plan. So let me talk about price first for this Palette Scout. I'm going to go ahead and load in their website so you can see what it looks like. Zollie's website is based on a lot of different things. This is not their only product. They have these kits. I'll click on Shop Beginner Kits, and you can see they have different, like learn to knit, learn to make friendship bracelets, learn to crochet, learn to embroider, cross stitch, and then they have all these different collections, and if you click on the little hamburger there and look, they have pattern bundles, yarn, and then they have gifts and the Palette Scout. So I'm going to click on the Palette Scout, and it says cultivate color confidence with the Palette Scout. Ready to feel confident in your color choices? And here you're getting a little peek into what we're about to see here. So I'm kind of excited about this. So I'll put a link to their website, zolliemakes.com, where you can check it out. The price for this little box right here is $30, but that doesn't include shipping, at least at the time I was checking here on the website. It's another $6.50 for shipping. So altogether, $36.50. So let me get out a knife here so we can very carefully, I don't want to damage the box, get into this Palette Scout. While I'm opening this up, you could take a minute and like this video if you find it helpful that I check out products like this for you. Liking this video will help a lot. We're also trying really hard to get up to 100,000 subscribers, so if you could also subscribe while you're here, that would be so awesome for my goal of reaching that landmark here on YouTube. Okay, let's open it up. Oh, it's a very nice box. Oh, we've got more packages we get to open up. Here is the little, oh, this is awesome. Look at this. We get a big insert here that's going to teach us all about hue, value, intensity, different terminologies we need to understand. We even have a grayscale value selector here. And then on the back, this is where it's going to teach us how to make the color palettes, and it kind of walks you through it, how to do your first one. And then we've got the different color schemes that we have talked a lot about here on this channel. Let's crack into this. It's got a little pull string here. Okay. Oh, Rose is waking up a little bit. Oh, she went right back to sleep. It's a little warm in here today, so I think it's making her sleepy. It's the very end of the summer heat that we're experiencing. All right. So my first impressions of the packaging is it's a beautiful kit. Feels like it will last a long time, and we've got information to help us. Here we have some, I heard about these. These are challenge cards to kind of help you break out of color ruts. So like pick your least favorite color in the deck and make a split complementary color palette with it. Does it change how you feel about this color when you see it combined with others? So that's kind of cool. And then here's a hint. To reset the deck, flip over all cards to the pure intensity side, no dot. Sort the colors into stacks alphabetically by color name, then order the colors in each stack from 1 to 5. Okay, so they have a plan. So if I get these all mixed up, there's a side that has a dot and a side that doesn't. These are the pure intensity side. And then looks like Ibis, Jewel, Kohlrabi, I don't know how to say that color name. Kohlrabi, we'll say. Lupine, Midnight, Neptune, Ocean, Pine. These are beautiful colors. Quetzal, Reed. Okay, let's see what we've got over here. Got some more colors. Amber. Okay, so these then come out. So I believe these are our 108 total cards, but some, I think it said somewhere that there was, yeah, let's just keep going here. So Amber is the first one. That stacks there like that. So the color names are all alphabetical, so that's kind of cool. So starting at yellow, they're calling it Amber, Buttercup, Carrot, Daylily, Ember, like that, ABCD through to R, and that will get us into color wheel order. And then I know that they have triangles. When you look at the color wheel that they have built, they have given each color on the color wheel a symbol, a shape. So yellow is a triangle, then it goes to square, circle, triangle, square, circle, triangle, square, circle, like that. And there are 18 different colors on their color wheel here. Each hue is represented by the different shapes and named in alphabetical order. Altogether make up 18 on the color wheel. Okay, and then we have what was explained to me was when you look at these ones. So if we look at Amber, it has its own card. And here it has, very interesting. So we have the intense pure color on this side, and then we have the tones here. But the purest color is the number 3. So the way this is set up is number 3 is your purest color, and then as you go back 2 and 1, this is adding black, and then when you go forward 4 and 5, it's adding white. And that explains this side of the chart. So pure color, and then these are your shades because they have black in them, and then these are your tints because they have white in them. And then if you look at this side of the stack, that's all 5 colors with a little gray added is what that looks like. So they're toned down. That's what this card is talking about. And then you can come find your Amber cards. And here they all are. The triangle represents where it lays on the color wheel. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like what you saw here. And then if you turn the cards over, now the triangle has a dot below it, And these are all the tones, so it's toned down. So nice, bright, vivid colors with a little black and a little white mixed in versus more of a toned down, grayed down sort of, what's the word when we get into tones, Steve? We get more antique type feeling, muted. Yeah, so it makes for a very interesting color mixing where you could maybe you want to use the brightest yellow, but you'd rather use a toned down version to go with it. So you can look at your colors in multiple ways here. So that's interesting. Steve just walked in. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
He's my business partner and husband. And like I said, he hasn't seen this either. So there's an amber card, Steve, that goes with all that. And then each color around the color wheel has this card. Now let's say you love the color yellow and you want to build an entire color scheme off of their yellow, which they're calling amber. So now you flip the amber card over and it gives you a complementary color scheme, monochromatic, analogous, split complementary, and triadic. Now the only thing I can see here is how do you know which purple to go find? We know the complementary color of yellow is purple. Do you come over here?
Oh yeah, and it has the triangle.
It's a triangle. So it would be jewel that we would go find. And these are all alphabetical, Steve. So around the color wheel, they've given each color a color name alphabetically. H, I, J. So now we pull out the jewels. And that is the complementary color scheme. That's pretty. Look how neat. And then we can pick a couple. Let's say I want a lot of yellow. So I'm going to pick, let's pick the one that has the number 4 and number 2. So this one has a little black in it. This one has a little white in it. Let's put the other yellows to the side. And then let's pick out 3 of the jewel ones. Now I think the way this company was, let's go for a really dark, and let's go for the full, and then let's turn the full one, now let's turn this one over. Okay, so there's a color scheme right there, and you could go find tools that match all of those colors. So I think the way this company came about is, like I showed you on their website, they are really into crochet and knitting and embroidery. And from what I remember when I was researching them, they wanted a color picking system that you could take to the craft store and go find yarns that match these colors.
Oh, okay.
So it helps you feel really confident when you're picking new colors for a quilt or for an afghan that you're going to make for a baby or whatever it is. So I think that's where it began, and as they have worked with this Palette Scout, that's the name of it, right? Yeah. It kind of has spread out to different artist types, not just in the knitting, yarn, and threads world, but also out into like our world where we use it with markers and gel pens and color pencils. So I think that's how this all came to be. So I'd like to play around with this for a second, and I think I'm going to give myself a challenge. Like, for instance, let's say I want to color something for my little nephew. Let's say it's red. Because he really is into Spider-Man. So I'm going to find on this card first what I would say is the reddest one, which is called Garnet. So now I'll go find Garnet, and I'm going to try to build a color scheme for coloring a coloring page for my nephew using these cards. So I'm going to pull out all the Garnet cards. And then I'm going to pull out the Garnet main card here. So here again, remember on this side, we have the pure tone here as a number 3, These ones are the shades because they have black added in. These are the tints because they have white added in. And then this side are the tones because they've added gray to all 5 of those colors. Okay, so now we flip it over. We've got our garnet cards here, and we flip it over, and let's say we want to do a split complementary color scheme. So I need to go find green, and it's the square green. So that's Quetzal or Quetzal. I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. So I will pull out my Quetzal cards. Okay. And we need the round blue, which is ocean. JKLMN. Oh, ocean. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Okay. Highly recommend having a lot of space to work because I'm really spreading out here to do this. Okay, so now we're going to look and see we need at least one ocean color, we need at least one Quetzal or Quetzal color, and then we need a garnet, which is our red. And we want to make red sort of the main color because that would be his favorite color. So let's go for the brightest red because that says Spider-Man to me, that red right there. And maybe a nice darker red to go with that. Okay, so slide the other cards out of the way. I'm starting to have a little panic that I'm never going to get these back into order again, but the literature says I should be able to. So okay, so we have Quetzal, we have garnet, 2 colors of the red. Okay, and now we want to pick out some Quetzal. Now for kids, for little kids, you want to stay in the tints and the bright colors. So let's see how number 4 looks. That's a tint of the main color, which would be green. I kind of like that. Okay, and then let's pick one ocean color. What if we pick the same one, number 4? Ooh, that's kind of pretty. I like that. Okay, let's put those there. L and O, we'll put those there. Okay, so here is my color scheme that I just built using the Palette Scout. Now, do I like it? We could flip them all over and see what they would look like. Ooh, I like it even better in this color scheme with the tones. That's what remember the side with the dot are the tones. Look how pretty the tones are. Wow. That's really pretty. I think in general, I've learned that I like toned down colors that have gray added into them. They are really interesting and I like how they feel calming. So I think that's why when you flip them over, and now it feels much more energetic and youthful and fun. We could flip just 2 of them. Ooh, I like that. Keeping the garnet colors nice and bright and vivid and mixing in a toned down version. That's really cool. Okay. So I think I kind of need a little time here to just play and see how I feel about the decks. So I'm going to play around and kind of create a few different color schemes and see how I like them, and then I'll come back and give you my first impressions of the Palette Scout and whether you should purchase it or can you pass on it. Alright, I'm having a lot of fun playing around with the cards, but I ran into something that is a little confusing to me, and that is the analogous color scheme. So from what I know, if you look at my artist color wheel, which I grabbed, and you look at what an analogous color scheme is, here we are right here, analogous, using colors that are adjacent to each other on the color wheel. Use at least 2, but no more than 5 consecutive colors on the color wheel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this shows you an analogous color scheme. So if you were doing like Buttercup, which is like a yellow-orange, then you would pick either yellow, like you could switch it and do like those colors. So there is a yellow-green there, but it's what they're doing is they're picking a red-orange, a yellow-orange, and a yellow-green. So they're not picking adjacent colors for the analogous color scheme. So I'm not saying that's wrong, but it's not what I was taught that an analogous color scheme is. So it was confusing me when I started pulling them, because technically, from what I learned, analogous color scheme would be, and if we were basing it off of Buttercup, we would grab Buttercup, and then we would grab what's next to it, which would be A, Amber, and C, Carrot. And that's more, we could add D if we wanted to, Daylily, but now you're seeing an analogous color scheme. That looks much more analogous to me. So that's one thing that threw me off with this system and the way that is being taught the color theory. Let me look at, that's the only thing I've seen so far. Complementary, our opposites, monochromatic, our one color, split complementary, and triadic. So those are all the same. The other thing that's different is their color wheel is 18 hues, where a typical artist color wheel is only 12. So I have 12 colors around here, and their color wheel has 18. So this is not traditional color theory as far as that goes. Again, that's not saying it's wrong, it's just a different way to look at color, and I appreciate looking at color in a different way because it helps me learn even more. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's just a different thing. Okay, let me give you my final thoughts while I'm cleaning up. One thing is, this is the most important card in here. To find, like when you pick your color and you flip it over and you say, okay, I'm going to use ocean, but I want to do split complementary. This is the best way to find what the other 2 colors are for your split complementary. So don't lose this little card. This is really important. And the other thing is, I think it's going to be okay keeping these in order, as long as you know your alphabet. A, B, C, D, and then these I kept all together, and then R is our bottom color, so that goes on the bottom. I think they've got it figured out pretty good as to getting it back into order. If you guys are like me, having things out of order kind of drives you crazy. So remember, again, this very important card, if you look at the other side, it tells you how to get them back into order. So again, this is a really important little card right here. The challenge cards, I read that one to you, but I didn't even really get into that because I was having so much fun just playing with the cards. So is the Palette Scout a tool that I think you should buy? I'm torn, because it's a new way of looking at color. It could probably help you if you have other hobbies like crocheting and embroidery. It could probably help you in that realm. It kind of gives me Sarah Renae Clark color, the color cubes. That's what this is giving me vibes of, although this is a different system. So again, it's not the same. So if you own the color cubes, this isn't going to duplicate what you have in the color cubes. It's just going to give you another way to manipulate colors and have them in your hand and really see what you like and what goes together. So in that way, I would recommend it. It seems like a really fun tool that can give you another way to look at color. But I think for the money, it's $36.50 after shipping. I think for the money, I would rather send you, now I know this is going to sound very self-serving, but I would rather send you here. This is based on the standard artist color wheel, this quick color picker, and it has 252 different color schemes in it, and it just feels like you don't have to understand what an analogous color is or a tint or a tone. All those things you don't really need to know. You can pick this book up and say, again, red. Like we said for my nephew, what if I wanted a red color scheme? So I would flip to red. And right there, bam, all the colors are ready for me to pick from. So here is that. We kind of looked at that one with the Palette Scout, the red with blue, green, and orange. But there's not just one split complementary color scheme that is based on red. You can go this direction too. So that's another fault I've found with the Palette Scout is it's only showing one analogous color scheme, one split complementary color scheme, where a book like this can show you multiples. Like if you look at analogous, right here, analogous, we've got 1, 2, 3 different analogous color schemes. And we have more types of color schemes like double split complementary, the rectangle tetratic, that one's not featured in the Palette Scout. So I would send you to this book. This book you can have printed and shipped to you, or you can get it as a digital version that you can have on your phone for quick reference. So again, you could take this with you to the craft store to pick out your yarn, or use it like I do to help me pick my color schemes for my art. So I think I would send you to this book. So I'm going to put a link to my book, and you can come and learn about it. We've sold so many copies of this book and have only had really good feedback about it. So I highly recommend it. But if you are looking for something that is fun like this in a card format that you can learn a little different type of color theory, then yeah, I think I would recommend the Palette Scout too. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoy this kind of unboxing and first impression video. If you do, give me a thumbs up so that I know you like this kind of content, and don't forget to subscribe to help me get to my goal of 100,000 subscribers. I'm so glad that you all joined me for this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.